Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your bonus reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. If you're watching this reading was meant to find you. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. We start with the 9 of Pentacles. This is a card of progress. This is a card of gain. This is a card that says, whatever you're working on right now, start looking around for the markers of success, right? If this, whatever you're involved, whether it's family, business, whatever it is, health stuff, fitness, how do you gauge your own success? What do you have to see for you to say, yeah, this is working, this is moving, this is progressing, this is moving forward, this is getting better? Look for those markers, because I feel like right now, you're going to start seeing those, okay? This is an active sort of process. This is kind of saying that in the middle of this, in this business, this activity, this, maybe it's a fitness routine that you have, you're going to really start noticing the gains, right? The success, the progress. It could be that you've sort of felt that things have plateaued, whether we're talking finances or physical health or whatever. It could be that you've been almost felt like it's a plateau or a stagnation even. But you've continued to work at it, and I think you're really going to see a big surge in the results. Okay. Let's put this card into some context. This is a very good card. It's very auspicious that we would start with a 9 of Pentacles. All right. Well, let's put some other cards out and see how this is coming about and what else you might need to know. Okay, got it. There's the Prince of Swords, a fixed air energy. It's saying, don't change what you're doing. Because if you think that you're plateauing, you might be motivated to move things around, to switch things up, to experiment, to deviate from your plan. Now, Spirit's saying, keep doing exactly what you've been doing. Don't change your routine, right? Because you're going to start seeing, I think, a huge surge in the results, in the gains, in the progress. Let's keep going. This is really, really good. A 3 of Wands. Yep. Underneath the surface. Makes sense. The intuition that's been guiding you. High Priestess. The Queen of Cups up there. And a Knight of Wands. I kind of like that. Because the Queens look at the past. And the Knights always look at the future. So it's kind of like you're already mapping out the next few months of your life in order to make sure that you can continue to do this. You know, there's nothing worse than starting on a project, finally feeling like things are starting to happen, but then in the next few days or the next few weeks, other things interfere with that. And then we're not able to continue that. It's like things finally started getting good, and then we had to stop or quit or do something else, right? So I think the Knight of Wands here in the future position is trying to say, keep your schedule clear, right? Make sure that you have, at least for the foreseeable future, that you've mapped out a path so that you can continue to giving whatever this is, the attention and the energy that it needs, okay? And of course, if there's anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Okay. And excuse my voice, I have a bit of a sinus thing going on here. Path of the Serpent now. 4 of Cups. Steady as she goes. A 5, yeah, anytime we get a 4, we start looking for the 5, right? The 5 is knowing how to regulate your sort of energy level, right? When you're cooking something delicate on the stove, it's not always high heat, leave it there. You can adjust it. You can turn it down. You could turn it up. You could take the pan off the stove if it's starting to get too hot, especially if you're scrambling some eggs or something, right? There we've got the Lover's card. Interesting there. I wonder if there's something else going on. Now we have another queen, the Queen of Swords. It could be with the fire energy here that there might be a little bit of anxiety in your life right now. Okay, I'm seeing there might be a little bit. It might be that we need this Lover's card, right? And it could be that's something a little bit separate than what we have over here, right? If this is you making some progress in whatever this endeavor is, this could be work, career, this could be school, this could be some project in your retirement, and whatever it is. It doesn't matter how old you are. What we see over here maybe is the need to be connected. It might even be a family thing that's sort of going on in the background for you. Okay. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down here and put Big Red Ant right on top. If you got a suggestion for a better name for Big Red Ant, please put that in the comments. If you have a prediction for that card, put that in the comments as well. Okay. Let's tap into our intuition and let's do it. Yeah. See, let's look around here. We've got a couple interesting things. First of all, the major arcana. The intuition and this idea of cleaving to our purpose, cleaving to our divine energy, what inspires us, right? And when we're on the path of the dove, this is the card of the thing we don't want. This is the energy we don't want. This is the obstacle we don't want to look at that, right? It's the Lover's card. It could be that in all of this activity, whether this is maybe this is your financial activity or your exercise, your fitness routine, whatever it is, there's this background issue, this background pull, desire to unite with maybe a lover, maybe a friend, maybe a family member. Okay, so I feel maybe with this Five of Wands over here, this is saying something. Maybe there is kind of a conflict in your life, and you realize that in order to add sort of the cherry on top to your life here, this is really good. This is going wonderfully well. But there's still that conflict with that friend or family member that you feel like it needs to be resolved in order for you to really feel good. Right? So we've got these two, and I think your intuition and your inspiration are sort of communicating with each other, saying, yeah, things are good over here, but hopefully we could steer the ship this way and get this problem taken care of. It's almost as if your financial life is perfect or your career life is going just real nice. But your personal life, maybe you feel that there's something there that needs to be found, it needs to be established or strengthened or reinforced or reconciled. Okay? We could literally be looking at that split now. And the Knight of Wands is right in the middle of the table, perfectly centered in the tarot table today. And this is the Axis Mundi. This is the card about which everything else turns. The whole world is turning around your the vision that you have of the future. Kind of, this card is saying, going forward into the foreseeable future, a day, a week, a month, a year, 5, 10 years, whatever. What am I putting my energy into? Okay. It's kind of saying like I could put all of my energy into this Nine of Pentacles, fitness, finances, health or wealth, right? Or I put a little bit of energy over here into whatever this conflict is, whatever this relationship is. If it's a family thing, a friendship, if it's, if it's a romantic thing, a spouse, whatever, a marriage. You could put some energy into that. But how do we divide this up? Okay, and how do we know how much to give to each thing? Okay, because like Spirit said at the very beginning, just keep doing what you're doing. Make sure that nothing is, it's the Knight of Wands that has to look into the future and make sure that all of the obstacles are seen, right? That all of the obstacles are within view, and I can clear out any of the blockages, and I'm ready. It's sort of like the Knight of Wands is at the prow of the ship and can see into the distance and say, we're going to need a little more speed, or we're going to need to slow down, or there's some obstacles up ahead. Okay. And I think that this personal issue involving friend, family member, somebody close to you, or that was once close to you, and they may be a Gemini person. I think that's something that we're going to have to deal with sooner or later, because it's going to slow down that smooth sailing. Okay? It's going to be an obstacle sooner or later as we're trying to continue forward in this steady as she goes sailing vessel with your Nine of Pentacles, right? So we've got fire, fire, fire. We've got our fire. And we've got a couple of water cards. We've got a couple of air cards. And we've got our earth energy right in the middle. And the earth energy right in the middle is basically saying that your focus right now is to improve your life, to gain, to make progress, to get better and better, to transcend our previous circumstance, to always be improving, growing, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, to not be stagnating. It's your will to continue forward in life. Yeah. To always be improving, to always be working to better yourself and better your circumstances, and to alleviate the suffering of yourself and those around you, and to improve the quality of life for yourself and others. Okay. And Spirit saying with this fixed air energy, the Prince of Swords, that's a perfect goal, right? That's a perfect path, a perfect process. That's a perfect objective to have. So don't change course. You're headed in the right direction. We just have to anticipate some of these blockages, anticipate some of the hardships and what things are going to interfere with that axis mundi. What is going to interfere with that full commitment of energy going forward? What's going to interfere with the timeline? What's going to interfere with the devotion of all of your energy into the foreseeable future, so that this plan can continue sort of unimpeded, right? Well, I think the Five of Wands in your environment is an obstacle. And I feel like it involves an emotional situation and another person, family or friend or something like that. Okay. The High Priestess in the background here. This is sort of the guiding light. I think that this is maybe something in the back of your mind that says, yeah, you're going to have to deal with this situation eventually. Yeah. That it is something that maybe is already kind of draining some of your energy, though we may not really realize it. And so it could be that we're trying to minimize its influence on us, right? The Three of Wands is trying to say, I'm trying to keep my ship together, right, so that I can sail forward, and I'm trying to ignore this as much as I can, so that it doesn't affect my trajectory. It doesn't knock us off course or slow us down in this huge gain and this progress we're making. But the High Priestess is back here, I think, kind of in your intuition, in your gut even. It's something that's going to have to be dealt with eventually. And this might be Spirit's way of saying, we've sort of put this off. Yeah. And it's something we have to deal with sooner rather than later. if it is going to be an obstacle to your energy flow, to the current of your will, might as well deal with it now so we're ready to deal with the next obstacle down the road. If we tend to put it off, procrastinate, save it for later, then it's sort of like we're accumulating them, right? And it's going to be one big obstacle later rather than let's just take care of it now and get back to our smooth sailing, and then we'll deal with the next obstacle as it comes, and we'll be ready for it, you know. I don't know if this is a situation that involved any kind of, not infidelity, but I feel like there's some sort of, there was some sort of dishonesty. That there was maybe not outright lies, but there was some kind of a, I don't know, there's an uncertainty there. And it almost feels that there wasn't necessarily a big fight, that there was just kind of a drifting apart, or just kind of like we just stopped talking, because there's a lack of trust about something, okay? A lack of trust. The Three of Wands, let's talk about the Three of Wands. It's your identity. It's your integrity. It's you saying, I know my will, I know my heart, I know my mind, I know my body and my soul. This is what I'm doing. This is what matters to me. This is, I'm committed to this life that I'm building, right? And again, these two cards, keep doing what you stick to the course, stay the course, right? You're going to start seeing a lot of progress in whatever this is, physical or financial, health or wealth, whatever. Things are really going to start picking up, okay? And it is because you've had this, integrity, that you've not let anything push you off course. Obstacles, you're able to see them coming from a mile away. And so you're able to navigate them appropriately without really losing speed, right? Because you know your will. And the Three of Wands is the identity. It's you feeling that this is who you are. This is an accurate expression of your soul, It's your heart, your mind, your body, and your spirit that are all working together. And in that sense, you have integrity, right? Everything is working together. Everything is solid. And it sort of, in a way, guarantees your success, guarantees your progress. Once we lose our structural integrity, right, we start taking on water. We start sort of losing our way a little bit. Okay, we start neglecting some things that may be very necessary. So we need all of our elements intact, solid, right? And it's our attention. If you're not wholly present in what you're doing, that's when we start kind of making mistakes. Maybe we drop a weight on our toe or something like that at the gym. Or we make some mistakes in the paperwork, or we're just sort of not fully there while we're driving, and that can be very, very dangerous. So we maintain our integrity. This is you maintaining that focus so that you can accomplish this without any sort of unnecessary mistakes. But there is something else, right? There's something that is taking a little bit of your emotional energy, which we see, both of these places with this water. Up above everything, it's the Queen of Cups. And this is on top of the world. This is kind of like the thing that's hanging over your head. This is the umbrella that's sort of given shade to the whole reading here. And it is a card that's also looking at the past, okay? And it's looking at the past, and I think it's having a difficult time not feeling the emotions, okay? Every time you think about this thing or look at this thing, you start to feel something about it, right? Whatever, it's an unpleasant feeling, I think. And so we're trying not to look at this. This is like a big alien spacecraft in the sky, and you're just kind of saying, nope, I don't see it. I'm not looking at it. I'm not looking at it. Every time we look at it, we get anxious. We get scared, or at least I would anyway. My wife and I were driving yesterday through town, I forgot where we were going. We were taking, I don't remember. We were taking our daughter to her jujitsu class. And I saw this little object. It was a black object. It seemed like it was maybe 12 inches long and maybe 5 or 6 inches high. It would kind of look like a weird box kind of thing. I don't know. It was a rectangular shape, dark. And it was steadily flying from one side of the street to the other. At first I thought it was attached to one of those electrical lines or the telephone lines or whatever. But then I realized it deviated from the axis of that line, the wire across the street. And it was just going straight by. And it kind of freaked me out. And that was yesterday. And today I don't know what it was. And my wife says, it's probably a drone or something. I was like, a drone? I mean, maybe. It was maybe drones can fly that steadily, but it looked like it was attached to a guide wire, But it wasn't, because it deviated from the wire that we saw. Maybe there was another wire, I guess. Maybe it was a drone and I was just seeing it kind of, perpendicular to its plane. And, I couldn't tell what it was. But anyway, I don't know the point of that story other than I had to sort of forget about it. And I forgot about it really literally until right now because of this Queen of Cups, as this card is looking at the past, at a very emotional situation, and trying not to look at it anymore because it's distracting from what you're doing. But this is the umbrella that's sort of hanging over. This is sort of the issue that needs to be dealt with, and it's just kind of like it's hanging over our heads. And I feel that this maybe involves an older female energy in your life. It could be a mom, grandma, older sister, older friend. Maybe not, though. They may or may not be a Gemini person for you, okay? For some of you, they will be. But this is, it's at the top. It's kind of like we're trying not to look at that because I want to focus on what I'm doing. I want to make this progress. Things are going so well right now. I don't want to have to deal with this because it's going to slow my progress down. Okay. But as we go to the path of the serpent, we see the Four of Cups. And the Four of Cups is you trying to not care. Okay. Trying to not deal with this. Trying to really fortify our hearts to just say, I'm fine. This is the card that says, I'm fine. Obviously, there's something going on, right? But we try to compartmentalize so that we can focus on our progress. And I think that this is not, maybe this is an example of when we sublimate some of these feelings, because perhaps we're taking all these emotions and we're putting it back into the fire, and we're kind of getting more aggressive in this situation. It's kind of like when you're really mad about something else, and you go to the gym and you just work harder at the gym. You just run as fast as you can because it helps you to deal with those emotions. That's kind of the sublimation that I'm talking about. We're going directly from this solid heart into this blazing, fire energy. Yeah. And I think that's a way, too, that you're going to end up breaking this. You're very, very mad, so you're pedaling your bicycle as fast as you can, and then your chain pops off. It's happened. So we don't necessarily want to do that, but we also can't ignore it either, because maybe it's going to sort of, it's going to either be hanging over our head and it's going to be that, sublimation energy, or it's going to sneak down to the unconscious and it's going to affect things there, which arguably could be worse than when we're sort of consciously sublimating. But I think that this is a situation that has stagnated for a while. And I feel like you really don't want to slow down your boat in order to deal with it. You're hoping you can just keep the boat going and not have to confront this. But we see with the Five of Wands in the position of your environment, it's already causing some distress. Okay. And I feel like this is, the Five of Wands here. It's kind of saying that, you can pull a little bit of energy away from one thing and give it to another. It's kind of like if you got this level 10 energy, you can still give, an 8 or a 9 to your central work, and you can give 1 or 2 degrees of heat over here to this situation and put your effort into it. Now, the Five of Wands, of course, is a card of fighting. It's a card of strife, right? And it's sometimes feels like a waste of energy, right? That you want to put all your fight into this rather than put all your fight into this, okay? But I think the sooner we reconcile this, the sooner we get this resolved, I think this this looming cloud can go away, for one thing, that's what we see here, okay? The sky's cleared over here. The clouds are starting to disperse. I know this is water energy, but you understand what I'm talking about. And it kind of feels as if resolving this issue, reconciling with this person, or at least getting some sort of satisfaction that we've taken care of the issue, whether that's through reconciliation or whatever it's going to take to relieve that tension. Okay, because I feel like it is already interfering with your path here. Yeah. So the Five of Wands in the position of your environment. There's a conflict with this person, and I don't see a lot of swords cards, so I don't think that you're actively like arguing about things, but I feel that there is conflict and tension. There is fighting, even if we're not really interacting with that person, And maybe it's just really like the tension in the room. You could cut it with a knife, And so it is affecting you, even though we may not be actively engaged in a verbal altercation, let's say. Okay? So we've got to deal with this 5, because I think maybe even the Five of Wands is some of this emotional energy that is sort of bleeding over into the other areas of your life. You may find yourself more anxious. You may find yourself more short-tempered, more nervous, more prone to frustration and bad moods and things. Because with this trio of energy, it kind of feels like this is the recipe for anxiety here. We've got a card that's always looking at the future. We've got a card that really is trying to keep it together. And then we've got this card of obstacles and kind of up and down. It's like more intense, less intense. And there's this, when we're thinking too much about the future, when we're worried too much about the future, then we start to get anxiety. So I think there is a need for you to really bring yourself back to center. Okay, this might be a good time to talk about mindfulness practices, gratitude journaling, and that sort of thing, right? The Lover's card. This could be something between you and your romantic partner, spouse, your lover, something like that, maybe. This could be a card talking about, family. It's something, or someone that you do want as part of your life. Okay. I don't think this is a partnership that you're looking to dissolve, but I think that right now there is this tension and there's almost this I don't have time for it kind of feeling. I don't have time, I don't have energy for it, I got stuff to do. Okay. But we realize that this is the card that we want. This is the energy in this position. This is what we want now. We want to reconcile with this person because I think it really is going to relieve tension, relieve anxiety. It's going to make you feel better. And it's going to get you back on course, straight ahead, steady as she goes, smooth sailing. And with the Four of Cups here, it's going to allow you to enjoy what you're doing more. It's kind of like all of this success, you should be jumping for joy. You should be celebrating. We should see a 6. We should see a 3, a 6, a 9, a 10 of cups here, but we don't. We see a 4. So it tells me that with all this success, you're not really going to enjoy it fully. until you resolve this conflict with this person. Okay? Feels like somebody close enough to you that they can affect your day-to-day life. Yeah. And I don't know what, I feel like maybe it was a miscommunication. Okay. The Queen of Swords here at the end, right? This is a clarity. This is kind of an objective view of things. This is you rising above the emotion, rising above everything, like the sky is clearing, right? The clouds are starting to disperse. And you're being very, very honest. You're being very, very open. And it's like we're not putting on airs, we're not putting on a persona, we're just kind of saying, look, this is how I feel, this is how you feel, let's deal with this. Everybody involved sort of taking their masks off. Okay? And being open, being vulnerable. Yeah. I find it interesting, too, that the Queen of Cups is water, and the Prince of Swords is air and air. So we have pure water, pure air. And then, of course, the Queen of Swords is a combination of both. So to me, it says that, this resolving this conflict is really going to enhance your life. It's going to enhance your progress and the speed at which you accomplish these goals. So it's very important, I think, that you get that higher perspective and you realize that this is the big obstacle in front of you that's sort of slowing down your progress right now. Okay. This is also a card that is kind of, I think it's reinforcing this idea of gratitude journaling. Journaling at all, altogether, is good, right? In any form. But this is kind of when we take kind of a third-party perspective of our lives. Let's say you do it in the morning, you do it in the evening. Just 5 minutes. Google, 5-minute journal prompts, right? Morning and evening. And it doesn't have to take long. You sit down, you write down a couple of things, you're good to go. But it's kind of like looking at our day as a whole objectively and thinking, what are you grateful for today? What are you excited about today? What are you hoping to accomplish today? Right. And then in the evening, of course, we do the same thing. What were you grateful for today? What things happened today that really excited you, that made you feel really good? Yeah. What are you proud of? How did you connect with people? There's all sorts of questions we can ask ourselves, And this is a good time for that. Because I think you'll see that improving this relationship is going to really help to improve all of these other areas of your life too. Things are going to go so much more smooth for you. Let's look at our mystery card. Maybe this will be our 3, 6, 9, 10 of cups that we want, yeah? If you have a prediction, put it in the comments down below. Let's see what we have. It's a Queen of Swords. It's another Queen of Swords. Same card. Interesting, right? I think this is doubling down on that objective viewpoint and journal morning and night. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. To get that perspective and to keep us kind of in the present, keep us focused on today. What can we do today? And maybe today's the day that we sort of say, okay, it's going to take a few hours or whatever, but I'm going to try to have a conversation with this person. I'm going to try to resolve this issue. I'm ready to confront my feelings and my fears and figure this thing out. Okay. Because, again, looking at the spread here, we don't have any real swords cards here. We have the court in the suit of air, in the suit of swords, but we don't have any actual swords cards. So I feel like there is no conversation happening. And so it's hard to resolve whatever the conflict is if you're not talking, But that tension, that frustration, anger, and that temper, that animosity, whatever that is, it's still there. Okay. So let's at least be open to the idea. All right. And now let's also be open to the extended reading. We're going to do that now. There's a link in the corner. There's one down below. New readings for Sagittarius, Wednesday and Sunday. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It is totally free. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.